Good evening, I am Mark Seal with your Lime Sports World. Swimmer Bradley Ali is being seen as possibly Barbados' best medal hope at next year's London Olympic Games. However, Ali still has a lot of work if he's to satisfy that hope, and the Barbados Amateur Swimming Association wants sponsors to help him to get there, rather than just looking to reap benefits after the achievements. BASA President Sonia O'Neill believes it's time to take developing athletes seriously, and she pushed that point on last night's TV8 program, Thornhill Talk Sports. Ms. O'Neill noted that Barbados was already benefiting thanks to Bradley, as the world-class swimmer using the aquatic center as his training pool is positive publicity.
With Bradley at home and training at our facility, obviously it is saying, well, having been exposed to the world's best facilities, and it gives our facility then a plus in that he is at home training, you know, here with us. Also, it should be motivational to the swimmers at home, because Bradley is proving that we have the necessary resources, not only in terms of facilities, but also in terms of coaches, to take him to that level. So I'm seeing it really as a boost for local, our local facility, and also for our local coaching expertise.
So the time is now for corporate Barbados to see sports from the angle of an investment, to look at aiding in developing our local athletes instead of only rewarding them for their achievements.
There's so much work and effort that goes into the athlete and making the athlete before you can achieve that World Championship medal or Olympic medal. So I think that now is the time to get on board and help to develop that athlete.
And it should not be seen in the short term, but more so as a long-term investment in developing swimming.
With increased funding, we will be able to, should be able to persuade more people to remain in the sport. And right now we have a very good group of swimmers coming up. As you know, well, I don't know if this is public knowledge, but most of the time when we travel, we have to pay our own airfare, our own accommodation. Certainly if we have more funding in those areas, more people may be tempted to remain in the sport, as then, of course, the sponsorship will assist with that kind of motivation.
Anne-Marie Burke, CBC Sports.
Top amateur boxer Anderson Emmanuel has advanced to the second round of the IBO World Boxing Championships in Baku, Azerbaijan. Competing in the 91-kilogram category, Emmanuel defeated Dimitar Tashkov of Macedonia on point, 25-13. Emmanuel will have a tough second-round match, though, against the number 3 ranked boxer in that weight class. That's the homeboy, Timur Mammadov. On the cricket, the West Indies under-19s have lost the opening match of their quadrangular series in India. The Young Windies went down by 2 wickets to Sri Lanka's youth team at the Reddy Stadium today. Batting first, the Windies under-19s were dismissed for 146 in 47.1 overs. Kavem Hodge top scored with 50, while Justin Graves got 33, Kyle Mayers 14, Ransford Beaton 12, and Captain Craig Brathwaite 10. Sunita Del Mel took 4 for 14. In reply, the Sri Lankan under-19s reached the target with 22 balls to spare, scoring 147 for 8. Graves took 4 for 26, while Beaton and Mayers picked up 2 wickets each. The Young Windies will next play Australia's under-19s on Thursday. Both of those sides will be in search of their first win, as the Aussies also lost their opening match to the hosts, India, by 10 wickets. Scores in that game: Australia on the 19s, 163 in 41.1 overs, India 167 without loss, and they did it in just 12 overs. The Sagicor High Performance Center has continued its outstanding showing on tour of Dubai with another impressive win today. Playing against the United Arab Emirates at the Dubai Sport City, the HPC had a big win by 105 runs. They batted first and made 217 in 19.3 overs. Kyle Corbin top scored with 57. The bowlers then went to work and dismissed the home side for just 112. Kevin McLean took 3 for 19, Veerasamy Permal 3 for 29, and Jason Holder 2 for 20. It was their third victory in as many matches, following wins over the UAE Blues by 23 runs and then against Afghanistan by 56 runs. The HPC will have their next tour match against the West Indies. who arrived in Dubai this morning for a one-week camp before heading to Bangladesh. We'll take a break here, but still to come, Champions League football and cricket.
At Lime, we know that when it comes to the internet, it's not just about connecting to everything that matters in your life. It's also about connecting in the blink of an eye. See who's friended you on Facebook, or send a tweet, upload some photos, watch movies online, beat your friend's score, or even email Auntie Bertha. Lime high-speed internet, up to 8 megabits of high-speed internet. Lime, for living every day.
First Works Warriors and Act 2 Popcorn Clapham Bulls are the second and third teams to qualify for the BABA playoffs after registering wins last night. Playing at the YMCA, Warriors defeated Pinelands 95-93 in overtime after the game was tied at 80-all at the end of regulation. Corey McDonald led the Warriors with 23 points. Tremaine Shaw added 19. Andre Pierre had 15, while Jamar Headley had 13 points and 10 rebounds. Ramon Simmons scored 23 points for the Pine, while DeCarlos Keat was also among 4 other Pine players in double figures. He had 20 points and 10 boards. Warriors are now second on 31 points with 2 regular season games remaining. That result not only qualified Warriors, but it also eliminated the Pine from the postseason race. Meanwhile, the Bulls have moved to third on 30 points after a big 36-point win over Colombian Emeralds International Senators, 83-47. Michael Woodruff scored a game-high 20 points for the Bulls. They have 3 more games remaining and can tie with the Lakers for the best record going into the playoffs. Now that 4th and final playoff spot is up for grabs between the Cavs, Jackson, and the Sonics. On the football, Mario Gomez scored twice as Manchester City were given a rude awakening by Bayern Munich in the Champions League this evening. City just couldn't deal with Bayern's swift attacking play. And to make matters worse, Manchester City boss Roberto Mancini says he wants Carlos Tevez out of the club after that striker refused to play today, coming off of the bench. Meanwhile, Ashley Young scored a late equalizer to rescue a point for Manchester United after Basel threatened a major shock at Old Trafford and gives Sir Alex Ferguson's side their first home defeat in 17 months.
Although they were the away side, City picked an attacking lineup for this one, but they were undone by 2 goals from Mario Gomez, the first coming 7 minutes before half-time, and the second in the dying seconds of that same opening period. On both occasions, City's keeper Joe Hart almost made valiant saves, but Bayern was simply too quick to the rebounds. So, a 2-0 victory for Bayern Munich. That'll make the whole of Europe sit up and take notice. They take control of Group A with a 100% record. Napoli also won 2-0 in the group's other match, and they're second behind the German team and ahead of City, who are already facing an uphill task to qualify for the knockout stages in their first ever Champions League campaign. But the morning's headlines will be all about Carlos Tevez. City's manager Roberto Mancini telling reporters at the Allianz Arena that Tevez refused to come on as a second-half substitute. The Argentine international's decision not to play casts further doubt on his future at the club, which he tried to leave, if you remember, during the European summer transfer window. Now, with Wayne Rooney injured, Manchester United turned to young English forward Danny Welbeck to lead their attack against FC Basel at Old Trafford. And he justified his selection with 2 goals in the opening 17 minutes of the match. However, Basel staged an extraordinary second-half comeback, scoring 3 times to take the lead. And only a late goal from England forward Ashley Young salvaged a draw for last season's runners-up. A 3-all thriller then at Old Trafford, where United have lost just 1 of their last 33 Champions League matches. Alex Ferguson's side have now drawn 2 games in a row, bringing a halt to their rocketing start to the season.
On to cricket again. Trinidad and Tobago officials are sweating over the fitness of Ravi Rampal ahead of their crucial second match in the Champions League 2020 against New South Wales of Australia tomorrow in India. The fast bowler has sustained a slight groin strain, and team manager Omar Khan says he will be monitored closely overnight. The strain happened towards the end of a net session today, but once the situation does not become worse, Cannon says he sees no reason why Rampal can't play. Rampal grabbed the Man of the Match award for his 3 wickets for 17 runs from 4 overs in TNT's first group match, a heartbreaking 1-wicket loss to Mumbai Indians yesterday. TNT have emerging fast bowler Shannon Gabriel and long-standing all-rounder Riyad Emrit on standby to replace Rampal if needed. Now, one of the favourites is in trouble of being eliminated at that Champions League T20. Callum Ferguson's Man of the Match knock of 70 not out of 40 balls helped set South Australian Redbacks post an unreachable total as they defeated Kolkata Knight Riders by 19 runs today in Group B. Playing in Hyderabad, the Aussies, who are second in the standings, got up to 188 for 5 after 20 overs as Daniel Christian contributed 42 along with Ferguson 70. In reply, Kolkata, who have dropped to 0-2, could only reach 169 for 9 from their 20 in spite of late cameos of 40 and 32 from Manoj Tiwari and Ryan Tedescata, respectively. TNT will be in action on MCTV's ESPN from 6:30 a.m., while there is a second game involving Dwayne Bravo's Chennai Super Kings. That one will be from 10:30 on the same ESPN.